talk with you. I can safely say I know Ruth for a while now, so it's always good to talk with Ruth. And we're talking about keys to win at life, designed to win roadmap. Ways that we can move from point A to point B easily. Probably easily is not the best word, but a smoother transition.
Yes.
Before we even get into that, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Ruth Taylor?
Well, I am a child of God, officially entrepreneur, so I use writing for business and also for ministry. I'm a career coach, and I'm on a mission to empower people to win in their personal lives and careers as well as their spiritual lives. So, in a nutshell, Ruth is somebody who's passionate about seeing people become productive and living meaningful, successful lives, fulfilling their God-given purpose.
I've never heard the word entrepreneur before. that one is a bit new to me. And funny because last week we spoke about entrepreneurship.
Yes.
So that one is a bit new to me. And you also help persons to write books as well.
Yeah, to publish their books.
To publish their books and stuff like that. Ruth, I know you've written a whole heap of books.
Just four, Erraldo, just four.
Four is a whole heap, and there are some of us. We are still at chapter 1.
Just four.
You know, but you've written four books, four really good books, and I've had the opportunity, I think, to read at least 3 of the 4.
Yes.
Oh no, I don't read when 3 start, you know. And I need Ruth. Are you me away, pan?
I thought I gave you a copy.
Nope.
No.
Oh, not when 3 stock. I have everything else.
Well, I have a copy with me today. So
You
I'll
see?
give it to you.
Thank you, Jesus. But I remember my before I even got to Design to Win Roadmap, I read Keys to Win at Life.
Yeah.
I know that you are doing a tour now. Tell us a little bit about that, because when we start talking about the keys, I know that we probably won't have time to get into anything else.
Okay. So the Design to Win tour is a tour to empower young persons 16 to 34 years of age to get it right early. I want to teach them some keys that I learned late in life, in middle age, you understand, over 35. And if I had known some of these things, I would have been farther ahead, because what happens is that many times when you leave high school, you don't have a plan for the next 5 years, and it's difficult to navigate young adult life. And so I have shared some keys that I've learned, both to help practical steps to plan for the next 5 years, and some life management keys. How do you manage your money when you get your first paycheck? What about rejection when you start job hunting, or just general in life? How do you manage your time, especially if you're working and studying and all those kind of stuff? So these are some of the things that's there. So it's a move to empower young people to win in their personal, spiritual, and professional life. And so I'm targeting the schools and the churches, giving workshops and motivational talks, you know, just to empower them to win.
And the tour is not limited to Jamaica. So
no.
So my friends, if you're overseas and after we finish talking about the keys, and you say, you know, say I need Ruth, you shout me, and believe me, we set up the thing for you.
Yes.
No, Design to Win roadmap. No, I know it's a workbook, and as I told you that someone took my workbook. I won't call names. But Design to Win roadmap, people really, you may have persons that are saying, I never know that a roadmap to life, a roadmap to achieve things is really necessary. Really and truly, you have some people that just think you just get up and get out and do it, and that's it. But you have actually shared with us some keys in your former book, and then you have given us a roadmap now to work out the thing. Is this a roadmap for to use the keys?
To use the keys and just to move from where you are to where you want to be. And it's linked, because when I originally started writing Design to Win roadmap, there should have been a section on keys to win. And I kept getting more and more keys until I ended up with 100 keys, so I just used that as a book by itself. So these should be companions. I think this is just 10 keys that I've included. But like I said, it's how to plan your next step, to set your major life and career goals, practically, and then some practical skills that you need. So it's the design is not just for young people, it's for anybody to move from point A to point B, where you want to be.
So the first book has 100 keys. I didn't even know we had so much keys until I read the first book. But this one has 10 keys, and we learned the 10 keys from this book.
Yes.
While you go ahead and share the keys, I want my listeners, if you need a little guidance with, as Ruth can help you with career choice as well.
Yes, career choices, planning your future. Career and life planning is my specialty, and also life redesigning, because it is said that in today's world you're going to be changing careers maybe on average 5 to 7 times. So this book is both to plan and to retool. So it's both for the millennials or just those starting out. The principles are the same at any age, but I'm really targeting the youth and millennials in this book.
Wonderful. So tell me now, what's the first key that you pointed out in the book that's interesting for my listeners to know about in winning?
The first key that I point out here is holistic thinking, planning, and development.
That sound
big and fancy.
That sound big and fancy.
We are body, soul, and spirit, and many times we just concentrate on one aspect of our life. So in the first half of my life, well, I'm in the second half, but in my early years, I mainly focus on my spiritual development and my educational development. I never plan to get no house. I never plan for pension, retirement, all that kind of stuff. So I achieved a lot academically. By the time I was 28, I had a master's. But I never have no money. Days I was struggling and that kind of thing because I wasn't planning holistically. So academically it was fine, educationally, spiritually it was fine. And then I was struggling emotionally. There are some things that I didn't deal with. And if you're emotionally unhealthy, then it's going to affect your overall life. So when you're planning, you need to think of body, soul, and spirit. And in the secular world, when they teach self-development, there's no focus on the spiritual aspect. And we know that it doesn't profit to gain the whole world and lose your soul. Because we're first of all a spiritual being living in a body, possessing a soul. So you have to plan for your earthly success and your eternal success. So all of that put together is holistic planning.
I must say that it's interesting as you taught that, because I literally see my life going in somewhat of the similar method. Because I am currently, I'm young. I'm currently doing my master's, and right about now, all I can focus on is the educational aspect of life. Like, I need to get MA out of the way and do the PhD out of the way, and I would have forgotten all about everything else that needs my attention as well. So holistic planning is one of the keys.
Definitely.
Have you been planning your life holistically, my friends? Are you? Because there are some persons, like as I said myself, we plan in stages. I don't know if that's great or if that can be a problem as well. So where I say, all right, my goals are set out like this, and after getting to 28 and have a master's, I can then look at something else. But you're telling me that, hey, you gotta still factor in.
It's kind of like a 3D thinking, because I remember we had a young man at the Jamaica Theological Seminary who at 28, he already was married, had a child, but in his last semester he died.
Whoa.
I was at a funeral just Saturday, and the lady was 48. Again, she was studying, she's to graduate next month, and she died. So what if you just spend all your time just focusing just on school and you forget the rest of your life? So you see the big picture, because what the design is about, it's like thinking like a designer. You see what you can become, you see the house, but you build in stages. But even as you're building in stages, don't neglect certain key areas. That's the main point.
Don't neglect certain key areas. Key number two.
Think long term. Successful people are long term thinkers. And many times, I have a section there on credit card and money and getting into debt.
Talk to me. Talk to me.
You see, the banks know that. I hope nobody will come after me. But the banks know that 70% of those who get a credit card don't pay it off in full. So they want to get you stuck in minimum payment, and you're paying minimum payment for the next 3, 4, 5 years. And the debt is still there, and they're earning. So if you check up everything that you're spending each month, you will say, oh my goodness, this is madness. So a lot of times we're making decisions in the present without thinking about where we want to be long term. And that can get us in trouble. Are the decisions you're making today part of a long-term plan? So you don't just build a house and just gather cement, gather your materials and just say, make we just build. You normally have a plan so that everything will come together nicely. So you have to think long-term to win.
Think long-term. And I learned this, Ruth, that your goals must be flexible as well. It must be set in stone.
No. You have to be flexible because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So having a design doesn't mean that you don't change things. It just helps you to focus better in the present. You are able to make better decisions. But you have to be very flexible because there are eventualities. It's like when you plot your route, you are going from one country to the next. Sometimes there is flight delay. Sometimes, like today in Jamaica with the traffic, you have to detour.
And then the rain.
But at least you know what the end game is. What's the destination? So you keep the end in mind, but you're flexible about the route and the strategies to get there.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm learning as I go along. Believe me, my life will be polished by the time Ruth finish. Key number 3. So first one is you need to do things holistically.
Yes.
And then key number 2, think long term. Key number 3.
The art of life hurdling. In life, you're going to buck up on some obstacles.
Mighty.
You're not going to finish building many times the time you want to finish build. Sickness, all kind of things will come up, disappointments. And if you do not know how to handle these hurdles, you're not going to get to your destination. So you have to learn the art of life hurdling. It's about learning to get up when you have fallen. And this is a major key because disappointment and trouble is not reserved for the poor or the less fortunate. It's going to happen to everybody, and you have to learn how to weather the storms of life.
So I have some hurdles in my life. All right, we talk about that off here.
But it's a simple map. Mindset. You have to transform your mindset because you become what you think about. Success, they say, is life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you respond. So it is event plus response equal outcome. So you have to learn to put things into proper perspective. If you can win the battle up here, you will win it elsewhere.
Wonderful. If you can win the battle in the mind, you can win it overall. So tip number 4, key number 4.
All right, key number 4 quickly. Ongoing personal growth and learning. You have to engage in continuous learning. No, we have a discussion off air. In traffic right now, you're stuck in traffic.
Yes, I asked her guys about
what can you do?
keys
Well,
for
you
traffic.
can turn your automobile into a university. So you use the time to listen to something educational and inspirational. And that is how a lot of persons get to the next level. You have to learn more, to earn more, to become more. The industry is changing. Certain jobs are going out. And if you study at least 1 hour, 5 days a week in your field, within 5 to 7 years, you become an expert. And then that's where the big money is. That's where the influence is, all of those. So you have to continue to learn to stay abreast of what is happening and to win.
And audiobooks are taking things now.
Yes.
So if you're stuck in traffic, you can use that time to learn.
Automobile university.
I like that. I'm going to turn the back of my trunk into a library. I'm going to really look into that. I currently have no space for the books that are at my house. So they're all stacked and piled in one area. So I have to find, because I like reading, I like to learn more. So if you're stuck in traffic, and you're going to be stuck in traffic for a while, get a book and read and expand what you know already.
Or the audio.
Or get an audio book and learn more, and that's helpful. All of them keys, I mean, probably. You know what? I don't want to give the listeners all of the keys.
Yes.
I really don't want to give them all of the keys. These keys are practical.
Very.
You've used them. You said that you've gotten them later on in life because before this the keys weren't so clear to you.
Not so clear, my dear. So on a lot of people looking around, they say, "Oh, you're doing great. You're being successful." But like I said, it wasn't holistic. And part of the reason why I'm sharing them and putting this map together is that when I share with my students, they would say, "Miss, why they never teach us this in high school?
Yeah.
And I get that kind of response. And Miss, you should teach everybody this. Whether I was at the Women's Center, whether I was at Heart, they just want, just like you are excited about them, they wanted to know these keys. And one of the keys I was just about to share is about progress planning. And this is how we teach you how to plan for your progress, because success is not accidental, it's intentional. Life doesn't get better by chance, it gets better by carefully designing and visioning what you want, not just see it, but then you have to put a strategy in place to act on it, to bring it to life. And that is what this is all about. So
the guide for life per se, we can use the Design to Win roadmap to say, all right, and it can be a checkbook as well, the way we call it, checkbook, checklist. To say, all right, then I have planned holistically, I've made sure everything is taken care of, or everything will be taken care of, educationally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of that is sorting out, and then I can move on and say, all right, then after that, am I looking long-term at life? Am I really, or is my goal short-term? How do we know if the goal is long-term or short-term? Some people might have a goal, but really and truly it's intermediate.
That's fine. The important thing is to have an aim, to know where you are going. So it's not so much the length. One of the reasons you're setting goals is so that you can live a purpose-driven life. Like I say, you don't just grab the cement and everything and just start build. So the goals put you in a certain framework so that you can live more intentionally. And it leads effective, because the studies show that people who have goals with a plan to achieve them earn 10 times more than those who just have the plan in their head or no goals at all.
Because that's what I was just going to ask you. Someone who has written down the goal and the plan to achieve it versus someone who has it in their head, have never put it on paper before, what's the usual outcome? I think you've seen.
Yes, that's one of the studies. So they will arrive, but they, on average, those who set the goals, have the plan, and act on it with that in mind, they achieve they 10x their success.
You gotta act on the goal. I remember I taught Ruth, and when I was teaching, if I had your book, teaching career guidance and stuff like that, it would have been so much easier for me, teaching my grade level students back then. But I remember I had to tell them, guys, you got to write down the goals.
Yeah.
You've got to make sure that the goals are things that you can actually get to.
Yes.
You can't don't tell me say you want to be Superman. It's not a goal.
Specific.
Your goal has to be specific. It has to be measurable. It has to be attainable. You have to get the stuff.
Yeah.
The keys. But the final key, not the final, but the fifth one that you said.
With progress planning, but also you have to win with faith. Like I said, it doesn't profit to gain the whole world and lose your soul. The design for me, I am here where I am now because God gave me a design, a plan for my life, right? And so you need that faith. You need to have eyes to see where you want to, where God is calling you, where you want to go. Put the action plan in place. Learn to weather the storms, and that is very key. Not just for your earthly success, because we're training people for their earthly success most times, but we're not preparing them for earthly, so eternal success.
Natty in NYC says, I learned early on that we need to admit we don't know everything.
Yes.
Even if you are the CEO of a money machine company, you still need guidance in winning holistically. She says, swallow the pride, seek help, and stay committed, irrespective of the age. She said, I should love all your points, and you hit the mark. You hit the mark with that. We may have some listeners who said, I want to achieve X and X, but my problem is that I fear failing. That's a big thing. Some persons, they want to do something, but their fear, what's holding them back is the fear of failing.
But the thing is, for example, there's a phrase in Silicon Valley, fail fast, fail often, because failure is often the back door to success. It is because of my failures where I have these insights. So when you have to see failure as further attempts at learning to get it right, and you have to take the I and the you out of failure. That because you have failed, it doesn't mean that you are a failure, but see it as an opportunity to improve and to learn and to bounce back, because there are many things that have been invented because of a so-called failure that failed relationship may have led you now to go do the doctorate, to do something else. That job that you didn't get may have led you in another direction. So failure is a backdoor to success, and successful people have often had hundreds of failure. We only see the success. We don't know the journey to get there.
You learn of the journey when you talk to Ruth.
Yes.
You learn of the journey. Persons are there, out there. They have set the goals, but they have never placed the goals or the plans to achieve the goal in action. We do have persons who have written down the goals and then write upon some paper we make from Jesus about the earth, but they have never placed it into action.
Practical steps to get there. A big part of what I find in terms that I coach, right? So I do career coaching and personal development coaching, is setting up an accountability system.
Mm-hmm.
You set your timelines, and I say you have your someday goals, you bring them down to 1 year, you bring them down to 90 days, you bring them down to every month, you bring them down to weekly, you bring them down to days, and then you set up an accountability system to act on it. So that is the part that a lot of times persons don't get.
Well, I don't know about you, my friends, but you got to get Design to Win roadmap. I'm just telling you, you got to get Ruth. I'm glad to have Ruth in my corner. So if I feel like I'm falling, if I feel like I'm not making the progress as I should, I can call on Ruth. Because I was telling you off air that I paused studies for a while, and my brain just got laid back and stuff, and I have to decide in myself that, hey boy, you gotta start it and don't stop. Because if you know that if you stop a thing, if you know that you're going to back from it, then it makes sense. It doesn't make sense you stop at it. You're doing the tour all over the island and the Caribbean and the world at large. Did you tell us she's around the world? Like, come on. She's a world traveler. And you're doing the tour with the Design to Win roadmap. What's the feedback like from the book thus far?
So far it's been good. I actually brought 2 testimonials. I need more reviews on my Facebook page, but the feedback is good. One of them said, this is an excellent book. It is important for young individuals who are planning to start a career, or even persons who want to redesign their career. It guides you on how to plan, deal with failure. It is true winnings. Another one says that the author has not just highlighted career struggles of many millennials, but she gives us practical advice to build a winning career. It's a powerful tool. A lady who's been in career counseling, Mrs. Faith Thomas, said it's a powerful tool. And the feedback has been good. Even my mother, oh my goodness, she is using it, and at her age she's going back to school. At 55 she's starting another program, and the Design to Win is helping her. So I'm going to actually have one for late bloomers and one for legacy. So there are different versions of this book coming out.
Whoa, I love it. I love it. And when you can hear Faith Thomas, say hey, because Faith has been in this thing for a while. Ruth, I think if you leave it up to me, I will ask you to share the whole 10 tips, not the 100, the 10. But what's your encouragement though?
All right.
To leave with my friends.
So I'm going to leave you with a mixture of When Trees Talk and Design to Win. So on this tour, I'm going to be giving a motivational talk, and it came out of a personal experience. God speaks to me through images. I want to encourage you to design to win so that you don't end up being a rotten banana. What do I mean by that? I saw, when bananas begin to bear fruit, right, they are geotropic, so they begin to topple over. And so there was this lovely banana tree next door, and it had maybe about 900 banana, right? Banana. And it was falling, and there's no stick to hold it up, so it fell on the ground. And day after day, the sun beat it, burned, that kind of thing. And then I went overseas, and when I came back, I cried. Because the bananas were on the ground, rotten. And the Lord reminded me of where I could have been, because at 17 I was struggling. Those bananas could have been food for somebody. It could have been money in somebody's pocket, but because the owner of the tree did not see the design, what it could be, and the benefits and the uses, it went to waste. And so when you don't have a design to win, you are going to waste your life. You're going to end up maybe even having fruit but being useless. So you need to get that design. I was falling by the wayside, suicidal. Every day I say, God, me don't want to wake up, don't make me wake up. I don't know what to do with my life. I felt insignificant, unimportant. But then I went somewhere and God revealed his design for my life. And the men of God said, God is going to use you. He's going to use you to help people. God has a plan for your life. He's going to have you travel. And because of that, I've seen that design come to the fore. When I talk about life hurting, 17 years later, I went through another crisis. And I wasn't sure 4 years ago what to do. Again, God gave me an 8 to 10 page design for my life, a plan that I am currently living. And I'm being fruitful and useful and people are being blessed. But all of that blessing would not have come had I not had a design. Had I not had the sight, the support, and the skills, I could have ended up being a rotten banana, falling by the wayside. So if you don't want to fall by the wayside, if you don't want your gifts to die with you, you don't want to become a rotten banana, you need to get a design to win.
Get a design to win. Natty's in tune, and Natty asked a question. She says, what would you say to persons who always associate lack of success in their lives due to lack of funds or nobody helping them?
Lord have mercy, I could write a book on that. It is not about lack of resources. Money follows vision. It's about becoming resourceful. I have traveled about 19 times and I didn't have the money. But because I had a vision and a purpose, people came on board to support it. So if you're struggling to find funds, what's your vision? What's your purpose? Because money follows vision and purpose. Become resourceful. There's no lack of funds out there, but you need to have a design and a purpose for it. And then when people hear that, they will get on board and give you the resources.
So you need to have a good plan that people can jump on board. And a purpose for it that people can jump on board.
And express that with enthusiasm and find the people who will support that plan. And the resources will come.
19 times and she didn't do anything. She didn't pay anything.
Not from my bank book. Me never have it.
But she had a
network, the support, design, because people bought the vision.
And the vision, I'm telling you, if you're visionless, it's a problem. Don't be visionless and beg people. Make sure you have a vision and make sure you have a passion to promote that vision that you have designed to win at life. I'll share my own testimony. I think I shared it with Ruth. When I read the Keys to Win, I couldn't put the 100 of them at one time in place based on what I was doing. But I put most of those keys in place and I literally saw myself doing things differently and things worked out better for my good. It is all about planning and executing, seeing the vision, the purpose for it. And if I continue, we'll preach a sermon and write the next book on how to win at life. Keys to Win at Life and Design to Win Roadmap. Author C. Ruth Taylor. She busy as ever, but she stopped by to share with us keys how you can win at life, how you can succeed at life and not, fall by and don't become a rotten banana. Don't become a rotten banana. I'll remind you that throughout the week. Don't become a rotten banana. Ruth, how can we reach in your social media handles? How can we get in touch with you?
Okay, see Ruth Taylor on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm there. www.extramileja.com. My number 782-9893. Put the 876 before that. And the book will soon be in York Pharmacy, Back to the Bible, and other stores. So you can reach me. Or Ruth Taylor at extramileja.com.
Ruth Taylor at extramileja.com. Find her on Instagram, find her on Facebook, find her on Twitter, and learn the keys to win at life and get your roadmap today and see how, and when it happens, when you start excelling in life, please let me know so that I can get in touch with Ruth and say, Ruth, one of my listeners in X place in yonder bridge place the keys into practice and now they are doing better than before. Thank you so very much, Ruth, for stopping by. All the very best with her tour. Hopefully I can jump on board with you by paying nothing.
Yes.
But all the very best. Take care. Hope the traffic going back, it won't be so bad for you.
Yes.
All right?
Thank you so much.
the guide and the keys to win at life, the roadmap, it's all there, and we must thank Ruth for sharing with us some really good keys. We could give you all 10 of them. No, why? No, we want you to go and get it. We can't have Ruth talk about all 10 of the keys, but you've heard at least 5 of the keys that are very important for you to put into action so that you can win at life. And guess what? You have what it takes. You just need to have the vision, see the purpose for the vision, and you must be able to explain that vision that you have so that persons can jump on board and assist you. There's no such thing as lack of funds. Look here, man. You can become resourceful as well. You don't need nobody to give you money. Find ways and means. I encourage you, get the keys. Link Ruth. You're not getting a discount because they know me. But link Ruth and you get all the knowledge that you need to win at life. This is the family station, Love 101. The new shift from 1 to 5. We're going to take a break and get back to some great songs. Stay with us.
Hi. Thank you.
Ruth, thank you so much. I hope that this was a good platform for
It's a September to remember.
persons to.
I think so, because I want